What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Grandstand Golf Podcast. This is our 2021 Open Championship preview, picks, and bowl predictions show. I am your host, Adam Bapty, and as always, I'm joined by my brothers, Craig.
Hey guys, how we doing? It's been a while.
And for the first time in a while, Kevin.
Kevin's here, everybody. I'm back.
What's going on, guys? I like how you both brought the matching shirts. You know, Kirkland original, I believe.
Kirkland signature. It's not just a Kirkland original. It's a
I've
signature
never had
line.
a shirt fit so well and just be so comfortable. If Kirkland, is thinking about looking for a golf podcast to sponsor, I think
We'll play
We're
it
already
here.
halfway
We'll do what
there.
we need to do.
we're 2/3 of the way there already. Come on, Adam, get on board here.
Hey, when you get an extra 10 pounds in the mix section, those tight shirts don't fit as well anymore. And I've been like a medium, a large. Do I have to move up to the XL? I don't know. Getting iffy. Guys, it's Open Championship week. First time in a couple years now since Shane Lowry got it in 2019.
Mhm.
So yeah, Craig, I think you did some research on the course here. Do you want to give us a quick preview what we're going to see?
Yeah, I didn't want to get too into the nitty gritty. There's really good stuff you can watch on YouTube, with flyovers if you want to get the breakdown of each hole and everything. But just kind of the very high level. Royal St. George's Golf Club. It is south of London. It is in Sandwich, England. It's the first course outside of Scotland that they held the Open at. That was back in 1894. Only 7 years after the course was built. So, I would say that if you build a golf course and 7 years later the Open Championship's held there, I'd say you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, no kidding.
15-time hosting, fourth most behind St. Andrews, Muirfield, and Prestwick. Prestwick held, I think, maybe the first 10 straight. So that one hasn't hosted for maybe 100 years now. No, it's like it was. I think at one point it was only a 12-hole course, and so it doesn't stand up to today's game. But yeah, classic links course. It's actually funny. So Sandwich, which is the little town this is just south of, it used to be in medieval times. It was the largest port in England, and that's sort of inland from where we're here. So what I'm trying to say is this was all sand that had filled up from this river over the years. And then they built a golf course on this sand that was deposited at the bottom of this river. So it is a classic links course built on the ocean side, on sand. It has the dunes. It has penal bunkers. I think the deepest bunker in maybe the Open Championship Road or in golf.
The Himalaya, right? Or
have you seen photos of it?
I watched. Well, I think you're talking about the Golf Digest flyover video. That was very well done of the course.
Yeah, I don't know how high exactly it is, but it would be intimidating to be in that thing.
It looks like 20 or 30 feet or something. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. Wind is the major defense of the golf course. Topography, pitch fairways. It's hard. Like, you look at the layout of these Open Championship courses on a bird's eye view Google Maps type thing. They don't look that tricky, but then when you see how these fairways actually undulate and all of these things that don't necessarily show up in that bird's eye view, you start to understand why these fairways might be hard to hit, or even you might be in the fairway but you don't have a good shot at the pin or at the green from there because you're just in the wrong part of the fairway. So it is much more that type of golf. Big greens, you could be on the wrong part of the green and be absolutely hooped. You might be better off being off the green. Expect it to be more played along the ground.
Right.
But the one really cool thing I found looking this up, so back, maybe within the last 10 years, they did this study on this, the ecosystem around here. I'll try to make this short, but essentially,
I'm fascinated. By the way, I'm learning a lot right now.
Essentially, they did an eco-hydrological study, which as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I got to know more. But essentially, this is all part of like natural dune landscapes, and there's 3 golf courses that take up the majority of this. So how can we have golf courses in this place and have it be as close to this sort of fragile landscape as possible? And what they have found is the best best management technique for their, their rough areas where they have longer and unmaintained areas. They actually just burn it. So I don't know if it's every year or not, but they do, like, they burn the grass, and it, I think they said 6 weeks, it looks like it's, been burnt, and then it just grows into like the most beautiful dune meadow scape that you can think of, which really hit home for me as I'm sitting here amongst the forest fires in BC, Canada. So just something cool. It's cool to see people thinking outside the box and coming up with ways to make golf work with nature.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk here about prescribed burns as well, so maybe they're onto something there.
Yeah.
Greg, you can take the man out of the history, but you can't take the history out of the man.
The one that I didn't quite get to is very close to where Julius Caesar actually landed in about 50 BC when he went to invade Britain for the first time.
I'm so not the history buff of the three of us. I am far and away from you guys. I had no idea Julius Caesar made it this far. I didn't even know wow.
Yeah, it was pretty exceptional. I could get into that, but that's a podcast unto itself.
We'll let you know when that one drops. The flyover was amazing. A lot of like Ian Fleming connection. I think he was a member here for a while, so there's a lot of like James Bond references. I think it's in some movies as well. The course looks. I mean, we've had it for a couple major championships, even in recent history. So. It's kind of well known in the circuit, but I guess the question I want to throw to you guys, and we could talk more about the course, but looking at the course, we haven't seen a true Open Championship in a while. And the golf landscape has changed a ton in terms of who's at the top of the official World Golf ranking and all that. So with all that, what kind of player or what are you looking for in players this week? Are you looking for distance, good putters, experience on links courses? Like, what are you looking for?
Take her away, Kev.
Yeah. Well, as I was telling you guys before we started recording here, this one I don't have a great feel for. I don't really know which way to go on this. I'm sort of leaning towards just gamers, guys that I think are going to show up. I think that I think kind of that's the beauty of open golf is that it does kind of eliminate sort of the TrackMan, 7-iron goes 190 yards at completely this trajectory, high apex guys. I know Adam likes his low apex guys, and it's for this tournament. But just kind of guys that can show up and rise to the occasion. I think it's always been a diverse group of golfers that have won the Open with varying skills and strengths, and I'm kind of hoping we see something like that. I'm super excited for this Open. It feels like it's been 2 years since we got to watch one.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Kev. And I was trying to think of how to describe it, but what I was thinking was I want guys who are going to play golf, not guys who are going to hit golf shots, if that makes sense. I'm looking for the artists, not the technicians. You want people who, they're, and, I feel like a few of them we'll be bringing up as we get through our picks and sleepers and whatnot. But you really want those people who they're going to kind of try to come up with a way to figure out how's the best way for me to get into that hole in as few strokes as possible. Not, okay, I want to land it exactly right there, and then that goes a little bit haywire, and now you've put yourself in the wrong spot, and that's it's a bad miss to have missed where you do. So I want the artists, not the technicians this week.
I mean, I was telling Craig and Kevin, I don't know if you've watched any of these, but the Open, I think the Open Chronicles they're called, that the Open puts out about like their past champions, kind of leading up to their Opens and what made them the Open championship, and then kind of talking about their championship experience. And I was watching Shane Lowry's the other day. They're kind of like 25-30 minute mini documentaries, and there's this one time, I think is in round 3 or 4, and he's in the tall fescue, and his caddy's like, I mean, like we kind of have like a half pipe here, like just run a 7-iron up like along the left side and it'll bank towards the pin, like just hit it here, like just hit your 7. He's like, No, it's an 8-iron. I gotta give him my 8-iron degrees. Just hit the 7-iron along, like hit it 7-iron there, and it like it like rolled for 50 yards and then ended up within like 8 feet, and like was a statement hole for him to carry on towards his win. So that's exactly what you gotta do. It's definitely,
and I love that. I love it.
Yeah,
like Craig says, that's playing golf, not necessarily hitting golf shots.
Which is funny because I was trying to, I was looking back through like previous Open champions, and obviously a guy who always stands out in a lot of any sort of tournament champions list is Tiger Woods, and he's the one who, I was like, I mean, he was a technician, but he also was an artist. He had both of those. He played golf, but at the same time, he was the best one at hitting golf shots. So he's the exception.
I think I've seen both Tiger and Rory admit that early in their careers, they found the U.S. golf easier because, they were so kind of locked into the numbers and amazing with their approaches and drives.
And potentially the best at doing that.
Totally. But they both had to learn how to play. It's funny for Rory. Rory admitted this on like his kind of show on his mini doc. Like he had to learn how to like win this. Like at first he came over and he was like really sour about it and sour about the draws that he would get for the win, and then it's not fair, for both sides of the draw, and eventually you just kind of have to accept it and
meanwhile
play.
he had a 61 at Royal Portrush when he was 16 years old.
Yeah, like come on.
So that's actually another interesting point about this course is that people have complained that it's not necessarily the fairest course because of the undulating fairways. You can have a ball kick off into the fescue, kick off into a bunker. But that all adds to that aspect of the game, patience, the mental game. Mm-hmm. There's last champion here at an Open was Darren Clark, a savvy veteran. Mm-hmm. There's something to be said for that part of it as well. So,
yeah, I mean, with the course, the two things I saw today. I mean, we're recording this on Tuesday. Ian Poulter and Brooks Koepka. Brooks mentioned that there's a lot of kind of blind shots out there. And then Ian Poulter posted a video on his Twitter, Instagram, I think, basically of one of his approach shots, and he had a mound in front of him. Couldn't see anything past the mound. But then past the mound, you have just blue sky or gray sky. So you can't pick, that TV tower or that tree or this. It's just wide open.
Take out your compass and
yeah, it's the same color. You kind of have to. He's like, yeah, you pick like a blade of grass or divot on the mound, and then kind of aim for that and hope it's the right spot.
Well, and that's where one of the things we haven't talked about, and I don't know if we'll get into it, but the caddy relationship. You were talking about that with Darren Clark. That is super key because getting them, getting the cues and getting them on the proper line for what the player does want to execute and all that kind of stuff can be that much harder to do.
Yeah. Quickly, a couple things I'm looking for in players. Balanced, no real weaknesses because I think you'll get exposed. If it's on approach, if it's around the green, if it's on the greens, it'll kind of get it exposed. And probably leaning a little bit more, kind of Kevin, as you touched on the veterans. I don't know. You got to have some experience, I think, over here.
Although, a couple guys that played at this course in 2011 with fairly good results. A couple of young Americans. Ricky Fowler in his second Open was fifth.
Very young Ricky Fowler.
Dustin Johnson in his third Open was second. So, the vets, I mean, maybe that's why they didn't win, but
I think distance is distance is always a weapon, but I think it's been proven to be a little bit of a weapon here as well. Okay. That's kind of our course. Should we get into some picks, guys?
I was going to say, are we there?
Are we there?
I think we are.
First off, picks to win. I got to go first and one and done, so I'm going to throw it to someone else first here. Craig, let me throw it to you. Your pick to win.
Well, I feel like... Can you throw it to Kevin first?
No, you know what? I'd like to... Can we switch this up a little bit? Can we go one and done first?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am leaning the one and done. I had Harrison. We haven't had a steady ring of shows here, so I got Harris English at the Travelers. Got a nice, cool $1.3 million check there. Bumped me above Craig. So I'm sitting at 6.8 million. Craig's at 6.6. And Kevin is clipping at our heels way back at 4.9. But
I think a fan came out into the road and Kevin hit the fan and fell over, and we've taken off into the sunset.
But that does mean Kevin has the advantage of going last.
Of picking last, yeah.
So that means I'm first. My one and done is Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
So my options, I think, as looking over my list, we started this at the Safeway. We didn't start this in 2021. We started with the PGA Tour season. So we've gone through about close to 40 guys at this point. I had Brooks, I had JT, I have Louis Oosthuizen, and I went with Brooks. It's the last.
Louis. Oh, I wish I had Louis still.
I gotta use Brooks at a major. This is my last major I can use him at. I'm using Brooks here. So first off, let's rewind all the way back to 2012. Brooks does something that most young American golfers don't do. You know what he does? I'm not gonna go for Korn Ferry. I'm not gonna go Webb. He goes over the Challenge Tour. He's gonna go, kind of earn his stripes on the Challenge Tour, the European Tour. So what is he doing? He starts off, he gets a win in Spain. 8 events later, boom, another win. He wins in Italy. 3 events after that, boom, another win. Let's go over to Scotland. 3 events later, boom, another win.
He so just went on the Challenge Tour or the European Tour?
Challenge Tour between 2012 and 2013. 4 wins in 14 events. He kind of he got his European experience there. Yeah, only 1 was in Scotland, in the UK, but yeah, I don't it's still remarkable that that's the route he took. It seems like it's not a very common route to take for a young American golfer, I think. I don't have any other stats. It's Brooks Koepka.
The one thing that I would just add on to that, as a let's remember how good some other golfers are, because you're talking about Brooks getting wins on the Challenge Tour. Brooks is only a year younger than Rory. The same time, we're talking about Rory being disappointed because he hasn't won. He's been competing in majors for about 5 years at that point. So I totally get it. I get the Brooks pick, but
was that just a random Rory plug there?
Well, no, it's just we're talking about a guy who's
Rory into a Koepka take.
Well, no, because Adam's gonna get to a few other guys who they were doing very special things when they were young, and so Brooks had been through university. Brooks on the if we put Colin Morikawa or Victor Hovland on the Challenge Tour out of university, they're going to be getting wins. So I hear what you're saying, Adam. To me, the 4 major wins he has, or however many major wins Brooks has, I care about that a lot more on his resume than I do his Challenge Tour wins 7 years ago.
Everyone knows he has 4 major wins, 6 Open Championship events he's played in, 3 top 10s. I can give you these stats.
I believe.
Sorry?
3 of the last 4, I believe.
3 of his last 4 starts, because he didn't play in one.
3 of his last 4. I don't need to give you stats. I just wanted to give you my own history lesson.
I got you.
Of Brooks.
I'm just saying, for a player of Brooks' caliber, yes, he should have mopped up the Challenge Tour at that point.
Yeah, but I will say midday today. This is Tuesday night. I was considering JT for a long time, but ultimately it's Brooks. It's the last major I can use him. I'm using Brooks. Go get me at least a top 5, Brooks. That's what you do in majors.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and I realize now why Kevin wanted to do this, because I think his one and done and pick to win is going to be the same. And he was saying before that he is in the advantageous position of being able to see who we pick. And so I understand why we're doing one and done first here. And on that note, I'm going with world number 1. Number 1 on your ranking list, number maybe not so high on your odds to win, Dustin Johnson. Wow. Back in 2010, he won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and then he won the BMW Championship.
Yeah, give it to me. And then the Pebble Beach again.
And then he continued to do things for the last 10 years since then. So DJ. I missed peak DJ. We've been going September through, it will be finishing up in August here. I would like to have played DJ in better form than he is in now. I contemplated saving him for, the FedEx playoffs, but I think he's got 3 tournaments in a row that have been good but not great. I think we have kind of seen him kick it back into a bit of a gear here, hopefully. The ball striking seems good but not great. I think DJ is one of these guys. I mean, we've seen him do it before where he can go from not playing good golf to coming out and winning. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm not very, it's a one and done play. I don't know if he's going to make DFS lineups for me. I don't know if I would play him in any other things. But I feel like DJ's always got a puncher's chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Craig, I
absolutely.
don't know if this makes you feel better or worse, but I have made some DFS lineups and he's in a couple.
I thought you were going to say DJ withdrew from the tournament. I'd be like, that makes me feel worse about it.
Apparently where he's staying has a lot of stairs, so
Ooh, and they're probably narrow. They're probably
are they like the
old
tricky
vintage
curved
stairs?
ones?
Yeah.
so not only bonk his head but then fall down.
Oh.
Don't like to hear that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well-
like it. As you kind of mentioned at the top of the show, he's got that good history here in 2011, right? Almost
Yeah.
won in 2011.
Yeah, kind of. I think shot himself in the foot a little bit.
Yeah.
Double bogey on the back 9 on Sunday.
Well,
All right, Kevin.
not gonna lie here. I'm gonna have to call an audible. I see the safety sneaking down on Moss's side, and we're gonna have to go over the top. So I have a few Brooks stats if anybody wants them, but I'm gonna shelve those.
Were they from his challenge tour?
They were not actually. They were more like his like recent
Dominance in
major
major. Yeah.
However, since I need to make up ground in this thing, over the last 10 minutes, I've really soured on Brooks. I am going to choose for my one and done, Mr. Louis Oosthuizen.
Ooh, I like it.
Wow.
I mean, what can you say about Louis, really, with very little research?
Well, I could tell you.
I mean, Louis is he's become like a top 10 regular in majors over the past couple years. I was going back and forth, as I was telling you guys before the show. I was flip flopping a fair amount leading into our picks because I need to make one of these hit. And Louis was one of the guys I was flipping back and forth with. The thing about him and Brooks are they're both major guys. Like, you want them in majors. The rest of the time, who really has them on their radar? Nobody. But in majors, they show up. So, since Adam chose Brooks, I'm going Louis.
I think it's a good cancellation. I feel like, honestly, if I still had Louis, I probably would have taken Louis and tried to see if DJ was in better form a little bit later on.
So, Craig, who else is on your short list? Who else do you have available?
Man, I'm running. So I've got JT. DJ and JT was really or I was thinking about, I made a list of my top guys left. We're talking about like Charlie Hoffman, Sam Burns, Shane Lowry. I thought for a beat about Shane Lowry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it falls off pretty quick. I've used my second and third and maybe fourth tier of players up. So.
Well, Kevin, I'm sorry to, kind of put the Brooks block on you there a little bit, but
Oh no, I feel like you saved me there, actually.
okay, whatever you want to convince yourself of. Yeah, if Louis can get you back into this, you know what? I don't think any of us would be mad. We would all love to see it.
Oh, if Louis won, yes. I don't think I would be mad at all.
We would all love it, all of us.
But this kind of feels like with Brooks, with DJ, with Louis, that we're almost kind of chasing their best results,
Well, that was kind of what leaned me away from Louis in the first place.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna trust that it's not over.
Yeah. Okay. Picks to win. Should we?
Yeah. So like I said, so we've gone through 40 some guys here. So that's not our picks to win. That's our one and done. We're scratching and crawl. What's the saying?
Clawing.
Scratch.
We're scratching and
Clawing. Yeah.
clawing.
Not crawling.
You're thinking of your child who's crawling and scratching.
Yeah, exactly. Picks to win. Craig, do you want to kick us off there?
Yeah, although, like, honestly, I kind of picked this guy because I figured everyone was going to be on Rom, but no one seems to be jumping on. To me, I feel like Rom is a bit of a no-brainer the way he is playing right now. So I would potentially have him, but I just think Xander Schauffele, he's being slept on. To me, he's probably the number 2 for me in this field. And so that's kind of why I have him as a pick, because I think I am higher on him coming into this week than most are, whereas I think everyone sort of thinks, you know, he's a clear favorite basically on every betting site. But to me, Xander Schauffele, he's coming in with good form. He performs in majors. I went in depth. He's my DFS top pick for me. So I went a little bit more in depth. His ball striking form is really good the last few weeks. He does have a good Open Championship record. He has a good Major Championship record. I think he can win anywhere. I think he has all the tools. He gains in all aspects of the game. Really, it's just been a matter of not being able to close the deal a few times in majors where he has been in contention. But I think he's going to continue to give himself shots, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is the week.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Craig.
It's a weird pick to win because... Yeah, I don't know. Is he kind of like the best right now that doesn't have that major win in the game? Is he?
I think
he's still young. Well, yeah, he's your number 2 guy besides Rom, and Rom got his. So.
Well, but like, who would even be without a major? Who else would even be close up there?
I mean, I don't know.
Hovland, Cantlay,
Hovland, yeah,
Hatton
exactly.
Is next on the odds.
Yeah. I like it, but yeah. I also kind of wonder, Craig. We talked a little bit about like the UK guys over here. I mean, there was a lot of pressure I think on Xander, both internally and externally for Torrey Pines. Maybe he's a little bit looser here and can kind of clean it up and get his win here. I don't know.
Yeah, I also, and maybe I'm forcing a bit of a narrative, but I think Xander is so good and I think he's so composed. I think every time he has put himself in contention at majors, I think he has learned from it. And going through the Masters experience, I think he learned a little bit more about himself and a little bit more about that feeling and about that one specifically, like when he hit it in the water on 16 at Augusta, when he had a chance to win the thing, he said that he was happy with, like they went through their process. He was happy exactly with what they did. They just read the wind wrong. And that can be the difference between winning it and not. And we like to put these narratives on that, like, oh, the guy can't close majors or something or whatever it is. But I think people are starting to talk that way about Xander because he puts himself in contention a lot. And I think that's just absolutely the wrong way to look at it. He's knocking on the door. He's going to knock it down.
All the guys who have won a lot of majors have also finished in the top 5 a lot in majors.
They contend a lot in majors.
They contend a lot. And that's just the way you got to be in contention to win. And you're not going to win every time you're in contention.
Yeah.
The one thing I kind of wonder, as you're kind of saying that, as they read the wind wrong there, Craig, as you mentioned that, it just kind of like flagged something in my mind. We're not close to anyone. We have no insider info, and we're talking from the grandstands.
Xander's dad was just texting me earlier.
As they say, do you wonder if he had, a more veteran, like he has his buddy on his bag, right? A good friend, I think, from college. If he had a veteran kind of caddy, would
no, because I think from what I heard, from what he said, it was, I think it might have been Freddie actually. It was an insight that had been given to him in practice round from veteran players that he applied. And so I don't think a veteran caddy would have changed that specific one, but I more generally, I think that actually the psychological advantage of a friend or something like that, someone like that on the bag can be a boost. It depends on the personality of the player a lot as well.
Yeah.
But for a lot of these guys, it can keep you loose. It can keep you from overthinking. So I think it depends on whether you're the type of person that is going to be distracted by that, or that's going to distract you from being your own worst enemy.
Yeah,
right.
Just kind of a random thought. I do tend to agree with you, but you wonder in some kind of very specific instances if things would be a little bit different. Kevin, over to you. Pick to win. Is it Big Bad Brooks here or what?
Well, no, of course not. I've decided that I don't really like what Brooks is, how he's playing leading into this week. I think that Jon Rahm is going to go back to back. I think he's going to win his second major in a row. I was very tempted to go with Xander as well, because I agree that I think he had the weight of the world on him at Torrey, and I think he played incredibly well considering that. But and I do think he's gonna play looser here. But at the end of the day, I just think Rahm has like every shot in the bag, and he's a gamer, and I think he's just gonna have enough to get it done if Louis doesn't nip him at the end.
I like it. I think Jon Rahm is playing far and away the best golf in the world. Yeah, if I had to pick anyone to, if I was going to lay money on any, oh, that's what this is about, right? So he was 7th last week, and he lost a half stroke around putting,
and he lost world number 1. Yeah,
which was like a little bit weird. I think it was just an averaging thing.
It's so weird that he got 7th. DJ didn't play last week, right?
Yeah.
And DJ got back to world number 1.
So I got a couple things for you. Rahm, since the start of September, so this season, he has a single tournament where he has been negative strokes gained through the whole tournament. Since the Players' Championship, he has a single round since that he has been negative strokes gained. It was in the first round of the Wells Fargo, the one where he almost tried a rally to make the cut the next day. He's just been absolutely so rock solid.
His floor is so high. It's so high.
Yeah.
That's incredible. 1 negative round?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Man, he's good.
Oh, so here's another one. So CJ Cup in the fall, he has 4 negative rounds since then. Like, it's crazy how rarely this guy goes out and puts up a stinker. And most of the time, it's not like he's gaining a little bit. He's averaging basically 2.5 strokes a round for the season.
And you talk about a guy who's kind of got the pressure off. Mm-hmm. Rahm just won his first major with all, that had to be weighing on him a little bit. Now he's got the US Open. Why not knock off a few of these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. But
Adam,
I don't completely agree, because my pick to win is Mr. Jordan Spieth. I just think, a lot of people through, kind of, what are we, July, up until May, June of this year, we're saying Jordan Spieth was playing the best of the year, up until Rahm, might have won the US Open, and then everyone switched to Rahm. But Jordan Spieth is playing unreal right now. Over the last 5 months, so his last 13 events, his win, he has 6 top 5s. So almost half the time he's getting top 5s. He has 11 top 20s in 13 events, and no missed cuts. Just an unreal stretch of golf. He's also 7 of 7 for made cuts at Open Championship. I talked about him on our DFS show, so I don't have to go too much. 3 top 10s, all 44th or better, and he's got that win in 2017. You go get that, he said, as he made his bogey that rallied him into one of the best 4-hole stretches of his career. The bogey from the driving range or practice area.
Any concerns? 18th, 19th, his last 2 times out?
No concerns.
Yeah.
No. We were talking about gamers and guys that are gonna go golf and not just I think the
artist.
Anyway. Yeah. And when I was looking for someone to fade, looking at those top few guys in the odds there, I for a half beat stopped on Spieth, because you just think, oh, this he's sporadic, he's all over the place. And I was like, and then he makes birdies. He gets out of it every single time because he makes all the shots. So yeah, I can't hate on that pick. He's always got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, and to me, I say any concerns. Really, it's more just like trying to poke holes in why it doesn't make sense. Like I think it makes a lot of sense. To me, it sort of depends on the trajectory right from the start of the tournament. Like I feel like if he starts well and is on that front page or so of the leaderboard, end of day one, end of day two kind of thing, I think he is super dangerous because he's totally unfazed by it. He's not going to put himself in, I think, in too much trouble. It's going to be more like if he kind of makes a mess of things early, and then even still, I kind of feel like he's going to grind his way upwards, up the leaderboard. But it's really that's the way I could see it not happening for him, is if he doesn't kind of have a good first couple of days and gets on the wrong side of it or something.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just buying it. This year with the win, it's all leading to, stamping that comeback at the Open. Okay, guys, sleepers. So what are we talking here? 60 to 1 or kind of longer odds? Is that where we're coming?
Well, I think you have the shortest at 70, so.
Wow. Do you want me to kick it off then?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'm going with Ricky Fowler. 70 to 1. I got him. I know.
Talk about guys we'd love to see win. Man, that'd be nice.
I feel like a lot of the golf community, I think, is behind that, but a lot of people, I think, are still kind of saying he's not there. He never really was there. He was kind of all a mirage, kind of like it was.
Nah, that's a bad take. I think if people are making it,
I agree. So. His form has turned around. He has 2 top 11s in his last 4 events. They're coming in the heavy, strong fields, PGA Championship and Memorial. He has the link experience. He actually plays over here very, very well. He's made 9 of 10 cuts at the Open Championship, 5 top 25s, 3 top 6s. He was 5th here, as Craig said, in 2011 as a young lad. I'll use the English slang for that one.
I thought you were only allowed to use that for the Tommy Fleetwoods and the Matthew. The
when you play so well over here.
When you play so well, okay. You're a lad. Yeah,
he's an honorary lad. Gotcha.
Yeah, won the 2015 Scottish Open. He's great around the greens, but his putting and his hitting have come around, his ball striking has come around as late. Mostly his approach. He's got those new glasses, seem to be working out for him. But, the ball is going in the hole right now. And I think that's really what needed to happen for Ricky Fowler. And then a little bit like Spieth, a little bit like, like the Steph Curry. Like, once you see the ball go in, it just goes in bunches, And that's what I think Ricky Fowler is. I think he's kind of hanging out there. People don't know if he's on the comeback trail. I love him as a sleeper this week. I really do.
I like it.
I've
had my eye on him lately a little bit, just hoping that he has turned that corner. I put some bets. Obviously, they haven't paid off yet because he hasn't popped, but I like it. I do.
Yeah, so agreed. I would say I'm cautiously optimistic on Fowler. I would say that's sort of where we all are at. But the thing, when he gets back, like, for people who are trying to discount where he was as a golfer before that, I think I had mentioned this one a few weeks or months ago on one of our DFS previews. But so aside from this 2021 season, he had 10 straight seasons where he was over a full stroke gain total. And in those 10 seasons, he gained in every single category every single year, except in 2012, he lost 0.1 putting. So he, like, every aspect of the game he played at a above PGA Tour average level for 10 straight years. And you add that all up and you are, your strokes gained total look pretty darn good when you can do that. So I think Ricky Fowler he has fallen off. I think he's putting the pieces back together. He's got that new prescription. I think it's only a matter of time before it all clicks.
The funny thing about that is I completely agree, but it's interesting because, he doesn't have something where he's necessarily incredibly dominant. You know, he doesn't have their approach play like JT Morikawa, or the off the tee like Rory and Bryson.
At a
and DJ.
point, he was a dominant putter, I would say. But
his best across that area was .89 in 2017. I'm looking at Data Golf. I think you're in the same one here. So his PGA seasons, because it's wraparound, might be different, but .89 is
they do. That is like that's October through September.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But even still, .89 is elite putting.
It is. Yeah.
It's just being an elite driver of the golf ball typically works out better for you over the course of a season than being an elite putter.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah. Let's see what happens, Ricky. Let's get some magic. Okay. I think the next.
So should we
shortest
go?
odds?
Yeah, I was gonna say shortest to longest here, maybe.
That's you, Craig.
So I am going with Abe Answer. I feel like, where does he fit in on this whole artist technician? I don't quite know on that one, but here's what I do know. I think Abraham Answer, I'm seeing him at 75 to 1 here. I think he's been a little bit underrated, a little bit slept on. He did have 2 bad events back to back, the Porsche European Open and the US Open. Quite honestly, I don't know why he traveled. He went from the Charles Schwab over to, was that in Denmark or I forget where the Porsche European Open was.
Hopefully he got a car out of it.
Hopefully, yeah, something like that. But then traveled, so 1 week to the next week, and then the US Open was his next event, which he did poorly at. Came back with a 4th place at the Travelers Championship. But aside from those 2 events, February 28th, he was on a crazy streak since then. He had top 30s in 10 straight events before missing the cut at the Porsche European Open, a top 5 at the Valspar, a 2nd place at Wells Fargo, I top 10 at the PGA Championship. I just think that we're kind of, these odds to me are a little bit throwing out a couple months of good play because of a couple of not the best tournaments. And so I just think that Abe Answer at 75 to 1, to me, I love that upside. I love the I like him better than all of the people he is sort of priced around.
Interesting,
yeah.
I really don't know what to make of Abe Answer. I completely agree with, that stretch of golf was incredible. The European stop was questionable. I'm just kind of looking it up here. His major record is actually better than I thought.
Well, and this is where it's tough because am I picking a sleeper that I feel like is going to produce more than kind of where they are, or I don't like him necessarily as someone who's going to win. But if you're looking
more
at
DFS
like a top 5 or a top 10, yeah. But like if you were even playing in a betting market, I would like maybe the top 5 or top 10s or those type of things more than I would like the win odds on him.
Yeah. Kevin?
Well, I'm going to go with Garrick Higgo at 90 to 1 because...
Ooh, here we go.
Why not?
Because he is someone that could win.
Because he is, exactly. That's exactly it. I was kind of processing that as you said it. I was like, well, my guy, I'm not necessarily sure he's going to make the cut, but if he does, he might win it. Yeah, I mean, we all... Adam's been talking about Garrick Higgo all year. So longtime listeners of the pod know that, Garrick Higgo has popped. He got his first PGA Tour win. Since he's missed 3 cuts in his last 4 events, which isn't awesome. But, a lot of history on the European Tour. And I just, leading, over his last, 8 tournaments, he's won 3 of them. So, yeah, he's a guy that can win, and why not? He's young. He doesn't know any better. Why not just go out there and win it?
He also, he's got the scorching putter where when it gets hot, he can just start to make everything.
Yeah. And, like your pick, Craig, with Abe Answer, even yours, Adam, with Ricky, not the longest hitters. Garrick Higgo's not known to be super long, but these are guys. The Open is a championship that typically, while length is a benefit, it's not the be all end all. And guys that can make shots, they can win. So I'm not sure with his lack of experience that he's going to be able to avoid all the bunkers and the pitfalls of Open Championship golf. But if he does manage to, have a good caddy in his ear and hit smart shots and then rely on his scorching hot short game, then who knows? He could find himself up there and he might just do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I am not on Higo this week. I very much like his long-term form, and I think he's a winner. Which a lot of these guys are just really good golfers, and they're gonna collect their top 10s, their top 5s,
their paychecks.
Higo is a winner, but Palmetto, he kind of fell into that win a little
back
bit.
Into that. Pressure's off. Might as well just back into your first major.
Canary and Gran Canaria, are kind of on the island there and low scoring affairs. I need to see Higo get a little bit tested here a little bit. I love him long term, but I don't know if he can back into it here necessarily.
Yeah, but you know what? Anytime 100 and plus PGA Tour players tee it up and you end up with the lowest score through 4 days. I get the whole back into a win. It is different than someone going out there and sort of winning it in a very spectacular fashion, but still you put yourself in the position where you were the one who took the least shots over those 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll tell you what. I had chosen Higo, but a guy I was going back and forth with between him and Higo was Adam Scott. So, but I mean, I picked Adam Scott as my sleeper for the PGA Championship, I think, and or maybe it was the US Open, I don't know. And for sure, Adam Scott could win, and for sure he could finish. He's probably safely going to make the cut and finish in the top 20. But let's go with Higo. Let's roll the dice,
roll the dice. I like it.
Why not?
Like it. Well, it's Open Championship. We're at 45-ish minutes here. I think we're going to be running a little bit longer here than an hour, but we've got Fade, Top Canadian, Bold Prediction, some Rapid Fire, and Barbasol still coming up. But let's go into Fades, guys. Craig,
can I lead it off?
No, yeah, sure. Go, Kevin. Go.
I'm going to fade Brooks Koepka. I think that Brooks is due for... he's,
Man, not only stealing my one and done, he's stealing your...
Oh, were you fading him too, Craig?
Yeah, I have Brooks as my fade.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe Adam took him in the one and done. Craig, if you'd like to take it from here, go ahead. But I'd just like to go on record that Brooks is now officially my fade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot on Brooks to say. So here's where stats can be misleading. People can win Challenge Tour events and then go on to not win Open Championship. No, so Brooks has 6 Open Championship starts.
Yes. 4
times it's been his worst major of the year. So I just wanted to put that one out there. So, when you're like, is he overachieving when he gets 4th at the British Open? Or is it an underachieving because his other majors that year were first, second? So it's really tough. It's really tough to put it all together. I think that Brooks is exceptional in majors. I think that Brooks is all the more exceptional in the US Open and the PGA Championship. I think that's where Brooks is at his absolute best. I think that he plays those setups better than anyone. I think he plays well in Open Championships and in the Masters as well. But to me, the real place that he has stamped himself as this kind of exceptional major performer has been at US Opens and PGA Championships.
Long courses, long rough.
Very, very difficult courses. He has done well at Open Championships. He's got, I think, 3 top 10s. But, I mean, it's just different that when you're talking about, okay, he's won the other ones twice. And, you're not even talking about top 10s at those other ones. You're talking about how many wins, how many trophies he has on his shelf. So Brooks being the second favorite I'm seeing in a lot of places, that's where I'm sort of fading it a bit. I would maybe have him fifth-ish as in terms of a favorite. But I'm pumping the brakes on Brooks. I think a lot of people are going to be on Brooks, so I'm going to get off Brooks.
So the thing that worries me about Brooks is the course isn't playing particularly hard and fast right now, and I think the way Brooks strikes the ball, his ball striking is exceptional, which has led him to, and his putting in majors is just stone cold, like ice in his veins, makes everything. And I think with it's been, apparently they've had quite a bit of rain over the last couple months, and it's playing a little bit softer, which I think favors him. I think if he can just plug it out there into the fairways and the greens, that plays to his advantage. So it scares me a little bit, but still fade.
Okay, quick question. Do you guys think Brooks is going to get the what's the word?
Career Grand Slam?
Yes, thank you.
I would say to me right now, he is the third most likely to of the active players who don't. So I would say Rory and Spieth, I think, are more likely to, just because I don't see him. The ones he has already are the ones that are the easiest for him to go out and win again, I think. Whereas, I mean, Rory should win at the Masters. It's just, is it going to happen or not? And then what is Spieth, the PGA? I just feel like the Spieth kind of has a puncher's chance at any major.
That's a super harsh on Phil too, like harsh burn on Phil.
So I would say I don't think Brooks will, but I don't think he will. But I still think he's probably the third most likely of players right now.
First of all, I'm shocked that Craig didn't put Hovland ahead of Brooks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Bump him down one more.
And Xander.
And Xander.
Actually, Braun might be third, to be honest.
Okay. I'll say that I don't think he is, but if he wins this week, then maybe.
So he's not going to win this week.
I think he's more likely to win the Masters than the Open.
He's going to win the 2020. He's going to win the 2022 Open at St. Andrews. You can pencil that one in whenever you want, or
are you just like all aboard the Brooks bandwagon now, or what?
Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird look for me. This isn't usually who I am. He's gonna win in 2022 in St. Andrews, and then he'll pick up a Masters in sometime in the next 10 years. I'm not gonna name the year, but it's at Augusta.
So he's gonna win this one and at St. Andrews, or what?
No. He's not winning this one. He's just gonna be a nice second place.
Oh yeah.
I made a exact kind of Spieth Brooks bet already. 300 to 1. 1-2.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
It really sucks. It really sucks if it's Brooks and then Spieth, eh?
Well, yeah, watch it be a playoff with Spieth and Brooks. You would just be on the edge.
My wife would not have any idea what I'm cheering for when I'm trying to explain that to her. Okay, are you guys both on your fades? Can we move on from this? I got to talk about my fade.
Right, yeah. I think we both are agreeing on Brooks.
Mine isn't exciting. I'm going Colin Morikawa. I'm just fading the inexperience here. Going with the number 4 player in the world. Sorry. Yeah, I think you need to have a little bit of experience, and we know this with Morikawa, one of the best kind of TD Green players in the world. He's lost strokes in putting in 5 of his last 6 events. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence, so it's just a fade. But he's still young. He's got many years.
Yeah, and I think it's being reflected in the odds. Like I see him falling down kind of out of the top 10 in terms of odds, which I'm trying to think of where we saw him at majors. I want to say at Augusta, at least he was decent. Maybe not so much for the U.S. Open. I don't know if people thought that suited his game or not, but
right.
It seems like people are thinking that he's not, whether it's the form or whether it's the fit, people are thinking that it's not going to be his week.
So another guy we haven't talked about much at all.
Yeah, he probably would win.
But I'm certainly not high on. I don't know if you guys are, but Bryson, I think for a number of reasons this week, I'm gonna be avoiding.
Another guy whose odds have fallen. Like he's outside the top 10 in places I'm seeing him.
I picked Morikawa because I thought Bryson was the low-hanging fruit here for a fade.
Yeah, me too. That's why I didn't touch him.
I'm not going to discount Bryson, though, because he can still push it out there as far as anybody, and he can still putt as well as anybody.
Yeah, I'm seeing like Louis Oosthuizen with same odds as Bryson, which
That's a little bit silly. Like,
I
come
feel
on.
like it's a little disrespecting of Louis.
to Louis, yeah, I see why that is silly.
And I rise up. Come on, Louis.
Okay,
Are we at bowl predictions yet? Because I'm
top
just gearing
Canadian.
up for it.
Rapid fire top Canadian. I'll go first.
Mackenzie
Corey
Hughes.
Connors. He's the best ball striker of the bunch, so I'm going Corey Connors.
Yeah, I'm seconding Kevin on Mackenzie Hughes. Tough course. We'll see.
Grinder.
Artist.
Interestingly, Discord was asking who my wife's pick was to win, and she's going with Mackenzie Hughes.
Oh,
Wow.
She
can
said,
get some
"I feel
good
so,
odds."
I feel so bad." Yeah, I guess I should put in a bet for her. She says, "I feel so bad that he was, at the U.S. Open and playing well, and I didn't pick him. That I have to pick him here out of, respect."
I'm seeing him
Didn't you-
350 to 1, so it's a
Didn't
bold.
she win
That's a
with one of
bold
her
prediction.
picks against us recently too. Was
Sorry?
that match play?
Yeah, she picked Tommy Fleetwood, getting holes in ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me tell you, a bet on Mackenzie Hughes right now would pay off more than your Exactica with Brooks and Spieth. So.
No kidding. That is how I picked one. Bold prediction time. Let's do it. Who wants to start us off? Who
I
feels
wanna start.
really good? Okay, Kevin.
I feel so good about it, and I've
chomping at
talked
the bit.
about these guys. I just can't wait to tell you how excited I am for this one. 3 South Africans in the top 10. I mean, I picked 2. One is my winner, one is my my one and done, I should say, and one is my sleeper. I just need one more to sneak in there. I'm thinking it's going to be Bezaid Note, but I don't really know yet. So yeah, take it to the bank.
So we got Louis. We have
Ernie
Higo.
Els.
We have Bez. We
Man,
have
Els
Grace.
Els, veteran.
No
Come on.
Schwartzel.
EVR.
No,
Grace.
there's no Schwartzel. I don't know if you were counting on him.
Didn't
Yeah,
know that. Ooh. That's okay.
Is it the Barbasol?
Yeah, I'm assuming he didn't qualify. I'm assuming he didn't choose to play the Barbasol over this. So we've got Oosti, we've got Grace, we've got Bez, we've got Higo, we've got Van Rooyen, Dean Burmeister, Justin Harding, Sean Norris, Daniel Van Tonder, Els. I think Els is actually a very sneaky. JC Ritchie and Jacko Allers.
I'm not banking too much on Allers. But any of the rest,
But you'll take it.
I'll take it.
Kevin, if I made a straight up wager to you here, what if I made a proposition to you that there would be more Australians in the top 10 than South Africans? Would you take that?
You know I love Cam Smith. And I love Leishman. It's hard for me to take
And
that
you're talking
one.
about Adam Scott.
I love those Southern Hemisphere guys.
And Jason Day and Lucas Herbert has some form.
I'd
Did we even talk about Leash?
We haven't even talked about.
I
mentioned him, but we haven't
I'll
talked about him.
throw it out there. We still got more podcasts. You can let that
Let me
kind of
think
sink
about
in.
Yeah. Maybe I'll jump into mine here.
Yep. Let's hear it.
So I am going, first off, I just want to give myself a pat on the back for my last bold prediction that paid off. Louis Oosthuizen. What did I say? Top 3 was it?
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
At the US Open, yeah.
So I am going. Ian Poulter has a very mixed Open Championship record. We have him with 4 of the last 5 have been missed cuts, but he has a second and a third. So I'm not as confident as I was in Louis. So I'm going Ian Poulter with a top 5 finish and clinches his Ryder Cup spot with the top 5 finish.
I can see it. There's a path to that.
Or he goes down in glorious flames, one of the two.
And then he's a captain's pick anyway.
Yeah.
And he's +8 and misses a cut.
Yeah.
Could be either. Okay.
Well, it's
Mine
bold.
is...
It's bold.
It is bold. I respect it. And you know what? You hit a great one with Louis at the US Open. So
I was
I mean, I
kind of
prob-
hoping you were going to do the same one again after my one and done pick. I'm a little rattled.
my bold prediction is the Americans sweep the podium, get first, second, and third at the Open Championship.
You know what you really need to do is you need to put in the bet with Spieth, Brooks, Fowler. That is when you'll get the odds.
I was looking for other bets, but that one doesn't exist. I don't know if I need to write a letter or what. But okay, so I got this stat from the Caddy Network. Over the past 10 Open Championships, there have been 113 players that have finished in the top 10. 113. Only 43 were American. So 38% of the top 10s have been American. So it's not, there's a lot of Americans in, the top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world, and so on and so forth. But the Open has been the harder one to kind of tackle. So I think it's out there enough to say Americans go 1, 2, 3 in the Open Championship this year.
Yeah, I think it's a bold prediction.
I think it's a bold prediction. I think, if there's a tie for 3 and, American and some sort of international, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to know whether we give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure that out after a bit, but okay,
there you have it.
That's our bold predictions. I got some groups I just kind of put together, guys. I got 3 to 4 names I want to throw out the group, and you pick who's going to have the best Open, who's going to finish highest, not DFS, not anything like that, just who you like the best out of the group to have the highest.
So just real quick, highest finish or most likely to win, because those are two a little bit different.
Highest finish. So the first one I'll throw out is Henrik Stenson, Phil Mickelson, Stuart Sink, Padraig Harrington.
Stuart Sink.
If you're not on like 1.5 speed at this point,
I will go with Padraig Harrington. He wants to keep an eye on his
champions. Am I right?
Open Championship, yeah. Open Champions, a little bit older. Yeah, I'm going Stuart Sink as well. I like that one. He's playing well. Here's another one. Adam Scott, Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, Jason Day.
Give me Cam Smith.
Yeah, I'll go.
It's just who I want to cheer for.
I mean, Cam Smith is one of my sleeper picks here. I like, so he's one where if we were going chances to win, it would definitely be Cam Smith. Higher in the leaderboard, I'm a little less secure, but I'll still go with Cam Smith.
I'm going Jason Day. I got
So
some
he was almost my sleeper today. I like it.
There's a lot going well with Jason Day. There's a lot of good news out of his camp. I got some butterflies about Jason Day. I think if he's feeling good, his game's at a good spot right now.
So do you think Jason Day is the artist or is he the technician? I always think of him as more of a technician.
He's one of the people that turn being a technician into an art, it seems like. Because he did things that usually are more artistic, like putting and short game, and did them in such a technically proficient way.
To me, he's the best out of greenside bunkers. He's the best. He is exceptional at greenside bunkers. Maybe that's just my own world I'm living in.
Yeah, I think he is, but I think you gotta be careful about getting in those greenside bunkers.
Here.
That is true. I'm not cheering for him to aim at those. Okay, I got another one here. Christian Bezaden out. Bobby Mack, Guido Migliazzi, or Garrick Higo. I'm calling this kind of the young stud, the young European Tour stud. Higo, Guido,
I'm gonna have to
Bobby
go with
Mack,
the South African here, obviously. I'll go with. I'm going with Higo as my sleeper to win. I'm gonna go with Bezaden out.
Yeah, okay. Right. You say Bez. I'm on the fence between Bez and Bobby Mack, so I'll go with Bobby Mack.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Bobby Mack as well.
I have a hard time
not
taking.
I like him too.
And honestly, say between Bez and Bobby Mack, probably Bez. I maybe I like a little bit more for the finish, but Bobby Mack, he's bringing the fireworks. If you're talking to someone who's got a chance to get up into the top 5, I feel like Bobby Mack's that guy.
I'd love to see him have a good tournament.
Done it before.
Yeah.
Okay, my last group here. Morikawa, Hovland, Zalatoris, Scheffler. We got these young studs playing in their first one. Victor Hovland.
And almost a no-brainer for me. You did actually convince me a lot of things about Scheffler.
He had a good week last week, didn't he?
I'm going Scotty Scheffler. I'm not. This feels like Bizarro week for me, by the way. Brooks, Scheffler, like these are guys I'm not usually on. I don't know what's going on. Give me Scotty Scheffler out of that group. I don't know.
Yeah, give me Hovland.
Hovland, if you want to hear me talk more about Hovland, it's on the DFS preview show. We've barely gotten into Hovland. Usually I get about 20 minutes in on him.
You had your Rory time though already. Yeah.
Do we need some more Rory time here?
I think we're good. That's interesting. Yeah, those are groups I feel like we're kind of equal, but a lot of people might have strong feelings one way or
can
another.
we quit just real rapid fire top guys that we haven't really talked about? JT.
Like him.
I like him.
I just couldn't pull the trigger. I have him in my pocket for the one and done. Hoping he would love to see him perform well here. Looking to use him maybe in a World Golf Championship, in the playoffs, something like that. I think he's kind of coming back into form.
Yeah.
Kevin mentioned the Apex stat in passing, but that's just a stat. I think there's guys that know how to flight the ball, choke down. I think JT's one of those. He showed it to players. He has got
he's got all the
stingers.
Shots.
He's got all the shots. So I don't know. I like JT.
The one thing, I forget, I was talking to one of you guys on the phone, and we were talking about JT, and I said that, like, he's one of these guys that I don't think he has a great Open Championship record, and he's going to go over there 1 year, and it's not going to make any sense, and he's going to win the thing. Kind of like what happened at the Players this year, where, like, there's no form, there's no anything, but he's so good when everything clicks for him.
He's a very good golfer.
Yeah, it's just going to be like, oh yeah, like obviously JT won it this year, But I don't know whether that's this year or not. Rory, we haven't, I spoke about him a bit in terms of where he was in 2011, but how do you guys feel about him this week?
Not high on him. I wish I was. Would love to see him do well, but I'm not high on him.
I'm medium high on him. I think his Open record of late has been pretty good.
Really good.
Miscut 2019, but then before that he is T2, T4, T5 and a win.
He seems like the Open golfer. Like I love Rory at the Open.
I'm probably more bullish on him than you guys are, but that's basically always the case.
Yeah,
no surprise there. Patrick Reed, we haven't brought him up yet. Adam has him as a pick on our DFS side.
At Use Golf Facts was tweeting about Patrick Reed's draw. Not happy about that. But that's aside. Whoever that person is.
All I can say is it'd be a shame. Hope not.
And then last one here. Well, we touched on Bryson briefly. Last one I want to get here because I think he is sneaky. Patrick Cantlay.
He is sneaky, man. He's so balanced. His game's so solid.
You just kind of never know what Patrick Cantlay's going to show up.
I know. He's so hard to bet and play in DFS.
You'll fade him or avoid him, and then he'll just torch. And you're like, oh, of course Patrick Cantlay is doing well. So, don't know.
Another one I think I am quite bullish on. Like, I think, we're talking about these guys that I probably have a little bit lower down on. Cantlay is one of the ones to me that I might bump up into the top 5 in terms of, how much I like them this week. And so we'll see. He's played, he was playing very good, a little bit of a dip there, maybe 2 months ago or so. And then he's playing really good again. So
there's one guy that, as long as I've been able to bet, I've been betting in Open Championships, and he hasn't won one yet. What do you guys think about Sergio Garcia this week? I feel like he still has to get a career Open Championship, don't you think?
No,
he's only 41.
No.
He's got.
You've heard my theory. He sold everything to get his Masters win, and since then he has fallen off the planet in terms of major results.
He finally made a cut. He finally made a cut at the US Open. He got a top 20.
Maybe he served his time in purgatory.
I'll give you this. At Royal St. George's last 2 champions made no sense whatsoever. They came out of nowhere. Maybe Sergio fits the bill.
He has, 23 Opens played. 10 of them were top 10s, 5 top 5s, 2 seconds. Like, it feels like that was going to be the one he got before he got the Masters, right?
Oh yeah, I thought for sure the Open would be his. I just didn't think, because he has such a tough relationship with American crowds, it seems like, that I thought it was going to be an Open where he would actually have a much more supportive crowd.
Who knows? He's got more opportunities. Phil
I mean, he ended up having the support of the Augusta crowd, but
yeah, that's true.
That might have just been because they disliked Rose more than him.
Yeah, I get who he was going against. Yeah, it was more anti-Rose. Okay, we got another PGA opposite field event. We got the Barbasol. We have one and done picks. I think the purse is kind of cut in half this week ish.
Yeah, it's a tiny purse,
3.5 or something. Am I going first?
Yeah,
I guess for sure.
Well, we'll make this quick. We don't need to get into why we like them and everything.
I made this in about 2 minutes. I'm going with Nick Taylor, the Canadian. He was 15th here in 2019. He was 21st here in 2018. He's playing good enough, and it's a field where he should top 10.
Yeah, I am going with one Seamus Power.
Wow, riding the train.
The best golfer in the world right now, some would say.
Wow.
5 straight top 20s, 3 of them top 10s. We'll see.
All right, well, it is a small purse, but between Louis' win, it's got to be worth around $2 million. And the man I'm about to mention, who's obviously going to win, I can't believe you guys missed it, Bo Hostler. Come on, Bo Hostler. Get it done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Put me over the top.
I thought someone was going to take Charles.
Yeah, I was looking at him, but I was also looking at Taylor Pendrith.
To be honest, I thought he was in the Open, and I was banking on him for a top 10.
It's going to hurt. You don't get the top 10 from the Barbasol, right? For your bold prediction.
Yeah. Whoa, I never said that.
Just South Africans across the world. There's 3 of them in the top 10 this week. Thank you everyone for listening. That is our 2021 Open Championship preview, picks, and bowl predictions. Rate and review wherever you're watching it. Subscribe on YouTube. Download the podcast version. If you're not listening to a podcast, go over, download the podcast version.
Then you don't have to look at us.
Then you don't have to look at us, and you can just listen while you're driving. It's peaceful. Follow us on Twitter at Grandstand Golf. Thanks so much. Enjoy the championship. Put on the coffee if you're in North America. Enjoy it if you're in the Europe. Good luck, and we'll see you again shortly.
Yep. Good luck, guys.
Take care, everybody.